Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to begin by giving a praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Recha Kodash. Double honors to the elders and to the apostle of the millstone, and in our respected brothers that they're pushing and spreading the gospel of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai to the four corners of the world. Now, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai, I just wanted to do a quick lesson on the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 46th chapter, and Lord willing, this be edifying. Right, this is a very short chapter, and the point is also not very complicated. The point began in the 44th chapter, which says, "Let us not praise famous men and our fathers that begat us," right, because of their righteousness. And I began, a series on this, and this is just a continuation of that, of those series of videos. So Ecclesiasticus Chapter 46 verse 1, it says, "And Yahushai," right, the son of Nun, which is Joshua, the son of Nun, was valiant in the wars and was the successor of Moses in prophecy, who, according to his name, was made great for the saving of the elect of God and taking vengeance of the enemies that rose up against him, that he might set Israel in their inheritance. How great glory got he when he lifted up his hands and stretched out his sword against the cities, who before him so stood to it. For the Lord himself brought his enemies unto him," right? And, we are learning of these men because the things that they went through, the triumph that, that they received from the Lord, what we will share that kind of glory. We will experience that glory that they have experienced, because just like them, we are standing fast for the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai. We have proclaimed the Son and the Father before men, and we have begun a good work, right, a ministry, a service for the glory of the Son and the Father, right, Yahweh and Yahushai. And so just like these men who kept the faith and who were exemplary amongst the men on earth, so and have received this name, so too will we receive that glory. It says, "Who before him stood to it? For the Lord himself brought his enemies unto him. Did not the sun go back by his means? And was not one day as long as two?" Man, spiritual power. "He called upon the Most High Lord when the enemies pressed upon him on every side, and the great Lord heard him," right? And, it always, whenever I hear of enemies, being too strong for us and the Lord stepping in to deliver us, I think of the book of Psalms, the 18th chapter, when, through the Spirit, David spoke of the latter days and the deliverance and the destruction. And then he said, "Oh Lord, you have delivered me from mine enemies that were too strong for me," right? The scriptures, the book of 2nd Ezra talks about the enemies, coming in like a flood, roughly paraphrasing, and the Lord lifting up a standard against them, right? And we being delivered. We know the Lord is going to do it for us because we are reading of examples of the Lord doing it for another man, right? Or others. So it says, "He called upon the Lord Most High, on the Most High Lord, when the enemies pressed upon him on every side, and the great Lord heard him. And with hailstones of mighty power he made the battle to fall violently on the nations, and in the descent of Beth Horon he destroyed them that resisted," right? That nations might know all their strength, because he fought in the sight of the Lord and followed the mighty one. And I believe it's escaping me right now, but the scripture says that the name of Joshua was noised in the whole region, and the Lord Yahweh was with Joshua, and his fame was noised throughout all the country, right? So that's it. So it says that the nations might know all their strength, because he fought in the sight of the Lord and followed the mighty one. In the time of Moses also, he did a work of mercy, he and Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, in that they withstood the congregation. They stood against what? Popular opinion, right? And withheld the people from sin and appeased the wicked murmuring, right? That's what it means, right? To be a real man means to keep a grip on righteous ideals. And they did it. They didn't just like follow the crowd. They believed in the Lord. What they did, what the testimony they gave was a testimony of faith in the power of the Lord. Whereas everyone was carnal and enslaved by the physical world, these men were spiritual, just like we are now. When we speak of the latter days and what the Lord is going to do, we spoke of it through faith. And because people didn't see it, they were adverse, right? So we withstood them. We are withstanding, congregation means gathering, but we are withstanding a gathering of the wicked, pursuant to the book of James, where it says what fellowship with the Lord is enmity with the world. And of 600,000 people on foot, they too were preserved to bring them into the heritage, even unto the land that floweth with milk and honey, right? The Lord gave strength also unto Caleb, which remained with him unto his old age, so that he entered upon the high places of the land, and his seed obtained it for an heritage, that all the children of Israel might see that it is good to follow the Lord. And concerning the judges, every one by name whose heart went not a whoring, nor departed from the Lord, let their memory be blessed. You can read about that in the book of Judges. Let their bones flourish out of their place, and let the name of them that were honored be continued upon their children. Samuel, the prophet of the Lord, beloved of his Lord, established a kingdom, and anointed princes over his people. By the law of the Lord Yahweh he judged the congregation, and the Lord had respect unto Jacob. By his faithfulness he was found a true prophet, and by his word he was known to be faithful in vision. He called upon the mighty Lord when his enemies pressed upon him on every side, when he offered the sucking lamb. And the Lord thundered from heaven, and with a great noise made his voice to be heard. And he destroyed the rulers of the Tyrians, which, you read the Old Testament, it says Tyre, and all the princes of the Philistines. And before his long sleep, which means his death, right, in our eyes, he made protestations in the sight of the Lord and his anointed. I have not taken any man's goods so much as a shoe, and no man did accuse him. And after his death, he prophesied and showed the king his end, and lifted up his voice from the earth in prophecy to blot out the wickedness of the people. Okay, so far this is the information that we've, that's given to us in the book of Ecclesiasticus, the 46th chapter. It's to motivate us and draw our attention, to the benefits of pursuing the long journey in the Lord, right, through faith, even when the ecosystem around you is opposed to you. Okay, so with that, I'm gonna end it right there. Shalom Yahabashim Shabra to Yakim Sanakwifs that are listening in truth and in sincerity. May the blessing of Allah be upon the house, and until next time, Shalom.